BRAP. You guys hear me? BRAP? You guys hear me?
What's up, everyone? It's Wednesday. It is BRAP time, and sorry about that. Had a mute Mooch there. Mooch, what's up, man?
What's up, buddy? Are we live?
Yeah, we're live. You came in. The music was playing. You're like, BRAP, can you hear me? Hello.
I
Taylor?
have no idea. Good thing I didn't say anything else. I had no idea we were live. So what's up, buddy?
Yeah,
Great to be here. That's impromptu, but I like it. I like it like that. It's great.
Yeah, well, that's how it goes sometimes, man. You know.
Sure it does.
It's great, man. Great to have you on, man. Glad you could join us this evening, man. Especially
Yes,
after great. I guess I don't know if was it kind of crossfire-ish last Friday.
Yeah, I mean, I just it was funny because I talked to a lot of different people and they were saying Mooch, it's not a lot of news, and I'm like, there really wasn't a lot. I mean, could you make something? You could make something happen, but at the same time, it was kind of like there wasn't a lot. So I said, you know what, BRAP, why don't we do this? I'm going to play Elden Ring. We'll do like a little crossfire crossover. And I thought it worked out really well. It was a lot of fun. People, amazing the amount of views over on Twitch. A lot of people went over there, checked it out. It was really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I appreciate it, BRAP. Thanks for also joining me on that stream. That was awesome.
My pleasure. It was a lot of fun, man. Good times, great times, man. It's just great times all around. But no, welcome back to BRAP, Mooch. Great having you on, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, and then we got my man from South Florida, Mr. Eric Jackson. Everybody, what's up, E? Is E with us? All right, we're gonna have to go back to E then. He's muted still. All right, we got returning.
You would think I've
there
done
he
this
is.
before, right?
What's that?
So you would think I've done this before, right? And
were you talking to the mic and then realized you're muted?
I was talking into a muted microphone. That's the Zoom world we live in. Like, you're in a Zoom meeting, you're like going in, they're like, you're muted. Fuck. I got to do that all over again. Start over.
Yeah, that's too funny, man. That is too
I
funny.
was ranting.
Yeah, you're like, yo, what's up? You spit bars. No one heard them though.
Yeah, like you're going off on all your like coworkers, like, just going in on them for being silly, and then they're like, we didn't hear any of that. Damn.
Yeah, that's too funny, man. But
anyway,
E,
what's going on, guys?
Great to see you back, man. We've missed you. It's been 2 weeks, man. 2 weeks too long, but nevertheless, great to have you back, man.
Good to be back. Good to be back.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about, man.
Chronos. Good night to come back.
Yeah, we got our PlayStation retail rep here. We got Chrono, who was with us last week to talk, Elden Ring, a couple other things. And by the way, it was very hard for me. I see T-Rock in the live chat. It was very hard for me to pull myself away from Elden Ring to podcast tonight, but I did it. But what's up, Chrono? Welcome back to BRAP, sir.
Oh, you're so lucky. I didn't. I was gonna do something very similar. I was tempted to start, just make just one side mission in Horizon, just one, and then it's like, no, I can't. I promised that I'd hop on to BRAP. So I'm here. Thank you for having me, man. Yeah, looking forward to this.
Yeah, no, definitely. And by the way, speaking of wrestling, Chrono, Jeff Hardy just made his debut on AEW right now.
Ah, damn.
Yeah, he just came down the ramp. Jeff Hardy. Wow. Well, I mean, we knew that was happening, and I'm actually surprised it didn't happen at the pay-per-view, but we knew that was happening at some point.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
yeah.
I'm going to do a wrestling podcast. I've been talking about that. Actually, Mooch, I've been having that conversation with Crap, and we talked a little bit of wrestling with Big Cloud on Friday, but I'm going to do something soon,
right.
man. Yeah. So anyhow, but no, Corona, man, great to have you back, man.
Fire, man.
What's that?
Said that AEW is on fire.
Yeah, AEW is on fire, man. They are firing in all cylinders, man. It's just crazy. So they got the Hardy Boys back, and yeah, it's cool to see them. But yeah, we got a lot. Yeah, what? The Dudleys, remember 3D, get the tables.
Tables.
That's when WWE was good.
Yes.
Anyhow.
Yes.
Yeah, but now, I'm gonna have to watch this later on. Well, I mean, this is what a great year 2022 has been so far. Video games, great wrestling. I see your boy DeSantis is saying some crazy shit again. You know,
I'm not going there.
I feel like South Florida is a different world, man. Just a different world, bro.
I have a
Not
governor that berates high schoolers.
Yeah. Stop with the COVID theater now. Enough with this nonsense. Would you quit with the damn malarkey?
Got a Cabbage Patch Kid yelling at you.
That's hilarious. Anyhow, man, look, we also got. I also want to introduce someone to somebody who's going to make me buy another game I wasn't planning on buying. We got. Oh, you didn't know? We got B Money. What's up, B?
Hello. What's going on, fellas?
You stop posting those WWE 2K22 pictures, man. Stop doing that, man. Stop,
you
please.
know you can't do that to Enrique. You know Enrique's king of FOMO.
Oh yeah,
Can't resist.
The game is definitely worth it though, man.
Is
paid
it?
a little I paid a little extra to get it early, 3 days early, and I'm enjoying the hell of it, man.
None of that crazy stuff we saw like in last year's version, like
No.
Well, it's
like,
been 2 years.
and all that funny stuff. Has it been 2 years?
Yeah, it's been 2 years.
Damn, wow, okay.
The game got a new director, and they've been I've been keeping tabs on it because I wanted a good wrestling game, and everything that they showed up until this point had me super excited. And they were doing these ringside chats and showing off the game and showing how they improved the game, and they kind of simplified the gameplay so a lot more people can get into it, and it's a blast, man. I've been on it all day. I mean, just learning everything about it. You know what I mean, trying to get everything down, and now I've just been jumping in matches and posting a lot of matches I've been playing. So I'm having a great time with it, man. I'm super excited because it's been a while since I've really dug into a wrestling game, and it's kind of sad on one end because there's not as many like classic wrestlers in there as I thought there would be. But
you got the NWO. I'll take that.
Yeah, for sure.
Little DX.
So, yep. So I'm enjoying it. A little sad because all of my favorite wrestlers aren't there, but kind of is what it is. It gets me excited because Ukes is working on the AEW game. So whenever that comes, you know what I mean? Like if they do what they normally do, then that should be pretty exciting as well.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Enrique.
No, go ahead, E.
I was gonna ask, did they drop the meta on that W? Because I need to know the meta. I need the meta to direct me. Direct me, oh great meta. On which way I should go.
Lead me.
I can't enjoy it unless that meta is at least a 96. Let me get that.
Let me tell you something. If you think Eric's kidding about meta, I mean look, the guy likes what's that game by Devil's Third?
Devil's Third, man.
It's like a 42 Metacritic, but he loves it.
That game is fire. That game's lit.
Yeah.
Will probably never come to Switch, but it's all good.
No, but
it's never getting that crossover.
But no, the AEW game, I've had my eyes on that because I was kind of like WWE. The last WWE 2K was it 2K19? Was the last one that came out? I don't remember.
2K20. No,
2K20. Yeah.
2K20.
Yeah, 2K20. Yeah, that game was terrible. Like even
that was atrocious.
Yes, you talk about
had like the demon referee like doing crab walks.
Yeah, crab walks. Yeah, off the ring, and you thought Bethesda had bad ham faces on their characters. No, like Triple H looked like Paul Orndorff. I mean, that's how bad it was. Like,
oh my god.
Yeah, it wasn't good at all. But I'm glad to hear that, B. And I know if you're excited about this, man, it might be a good game, B. You tend to have exquisite taste when it comes to games, man. So
yeah, B might have me looking at a wrestling game for the
first
time in like since the N64.
Right? Since NWO versus WCW.
It's funny too because like the controls are very like they remind me a lot of like those 64 games. You know what I mean? It's like super easy to get into. You know what I mean? And if you want to master it, there's definitely like more controls you can get into. But you just want to get in there and have a good time, man. It's super simple, and you know, I mean, you'll definitely have fun with it.
Nice.
Yeah,
Who's your wrestler of choice? Who's your wrestler of choice, B?
You know, Stone Cold has always been my favorite wrestler.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so that's like my go-to. But you know, I go to, you know, all the classic guys, and like as far as like the new guys, like Finn Balor is probably like one of my favorite ones.
Bullet Club, baby.
I was a Buff Bigelow guy back in the day.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Remember Buff Bigelow?
Man Bigelow.
Yeah.
No, Buff Bigelow from WCW.
Yeah.
Oh, Bagwell.
Oh,
No, that's it,
Bagwell.
Buff Bagwell. That's it, Buff, yeah, Buff Bagwell.
Yeah.
He became he was on that show Gigolos. On
Yeah,
Showtime.
Buff Bagwell.
That's where he ended up.
Yeah.
I'm not even bullshitting. That's where
No,
he
he's
ended up. Oh man, Buff Bagwell. Yeah.
But AEW has like so many of the guys who've left the WWE. So like when that game comes out, I'm gonna be super excited for that too.
Yeah, and they keep adding people to the roster. I just mentioned Jeff Hardy just debuted right now.
I'm just watching a clip right now.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? I'm like, you know, and then William Regal on on Sunday. So they're Wyndham Rotunda's aka Bray Wyatt. He's going to be there at some point. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy, but yeah, B, you keep posting those screenshots, man. The FOMO is going to kick in. Let me tell you something. If I was a professional wrestler, my ring name would be FOMO, and my finishing move would be called the pre-order.
Oh no, it's got to be the chancleta.
Yeah, the chuck. I'd have like 3 finishing moves: the pre-order, the chancleta, and the meta. Here comes FOMO to the ring.
He's on the top rope. Here comes the meta.
By God, they killed him. He's dead. FOMO. Hit him with the meta. Anyhow,
he's out of here. The FOMO.
Oh my
That'll
God!
do it, ladies and gentlemen. He hit him with the FOMO.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right, but no, that's great news though, B. That's great news. And really, it was a damn shame that game was gotten so bad because it's been pretty bad for the last couple of years. So, yeah. I know this isn't like a topic we're going to discuss, but I gotta talk about this because this is the most wildest shit I've ever seen in my life. I always say console wars rots the brain. It's bad for your mind, right? It's just not good. Well, just when I thought that things couldn't really, I don't know, get any worse or people couldn't do anything that's like we would have just hit a new low. Sure enough, we do. Did you guys see that anesthesiologist post that take a video in the operating room? And it was all console war related. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, am I like, what is going, like, I don't, like, how do we get to this place? Like, this guy's like, well, I had to defend myself. People were like, saying that I don't have a profession because I console war at the time. And he's like, my job is saving lives. My hobby is console warring or something. And he did it. He posted this video in a hospital. Show the person's information. Now, this person, this doctor or anesthesiologist, apparently he's not in the United States. He's in India. Because he was in the U.S., he would have been in big shit. Major HIPAA violation. And now, asking for proof of vaccine is not a HIPAA violation. Just want to throw that out. Yeah, I'm just shocked by this, and it hit the mainstream media's picked this up. Vice did an article about this guy and what happened.
It's news. It's newsworthy, man, because it's shocking. Like if you were telling somebody that this happened, you'd be like, no, it didn't.
I'm shocked by this. I don't understand why this happens. Maybe I shouldn't be surprised anymore. Maybe I should be surprised.
You surprised about what anti-social media and how people react to that?
And Mooch, Mooch, you predicted the death of society 10 years ago via Facebook. Mooch, I got to be honest with you. It's funny. You and I joke around about this. There's things I'm like, sometimes people don't give you enough credit, Mooch.
I've been saying that for years. Absolutely. That's fine. Right. I'm a big fan of Mooch myself. Absolutely.
Yeah, you got to pat yourself on the back, right? But I mean, but this is you talked about, Facebook. I love that prediction 10 years ago, right? And here we are. And by the way, I pay close attention to your predictions now, and I jot them down. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna, because you and I have conversations about the media stuff, and more recently, it's like, Mooch, remember what you said about 5 years ago? Well,
yeah, I mean,
I kind of see your point now.
Exactly, and I think if you actually look at what was going on last generation, I think if you just sit back and you look at the titles, you look at all the headlines, you look at what was being said, and then you look at it now, it's very similar. It's just on the other side of the coin, and it's interesting because I think me and you did have a conversation that went something along the lines of, well, Sony was doing well coming out of last generation. They're still doing well going into this generation. And what Xbox is doing is different. They're leaving traditional type of sales, type of reporting, and they're going towards a service, and they're scooping up large publishers. And that's newsworthy, right? So it was like what E said, when it's shocking or it's different, it's newsworthy. So you're seeing a lot of people in the media that are definitely flocking more to that Xbox article. And Sony is just doing what we as gamers love a lot, and they're making great games. And they're just putting out games for us to enjoy at, I think, a decent pace. I mean, everybody was kind of hard on Sony, I think, end of last year, which that's rightfully so. That's fine. I'm not going to say that they shouldn't have had. They should have probably had one big major release every holiday. I like how they kind of stagger them through the year. I kind of dig that myself. I like having a February, then give me something in May, then give me something in September, give me something in November, right? I mean, because if you really truly love that game, it could take up to 2 months. Actually, believe it or not, just before we started BRAP, I just finished Horizon Forbidden West. I just got the gold trophy for that. I've got about another, I think, 9 or 10 trophies to get the platinum, so I'm going to go back and do that. But I've got about 70. I checked the manual save because you can check it on your app as well, but I just checked it out on the manual save. I've got about 70 hours so far in the Horizon Forbidden West, and that's playing a good amount of my free time. So it takes a month and a half, 2 months if you're not just running through it, if you got other things to do on your schedule. So I like Sony's movement so far this generation and giving us different games. But like you said, when it comes down to it, I think one of your topics is Michael Patcher. I think when it comes down to it, you can clearly see when you speak to a lot of different, or you listen to a lot of different media folks, they're definitely it just seems like they're rooting for Xbox, which I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But then when they're kind of like, I like what Xbox is doing, I think Game Pass is great. And then they turn around 2 seconds later and they're like, but Sony really isn't doing well, and they're kind of going to get crushed. And you're like, well, what? What kind of evidence or numerical facts do you have to prove anything like that? Because they're actually doing quite well. At least the numbers that we're seeing right now, they're doing quite well. The numbers are showing tremendous sales. I mean, Spider-Man Miles Morales is still selling, top 10. It's doing it monthly. No, but it keeps shooting up every couple of months back into that spot. I mean, that means that there's an influx of people buying a PS5, and when they buy that PS5, they want Spider-Man, right? So there's a lot to be said with that title, and you've got Spider-Man 2 coming out next year, and hypothetically, possibly a Wolverine game coming out the year after or the year after that. That's, I'm not sitting here trying to actually predict the future as far as releases, but I do think that you have Sony doing something that's quite traditional, and I can see where the news and media outlets are finding that maybe a little boring to write an article about. But at the end of the day, when it comes to gaming media, reviews, initial thoughts, deep impacts, what you're thinking about, I mean, it's about the games, right? So people are like, well, there's VRR and you don't have VRR on PS5. I'm like, well, does that matter? I mean, I'm more interested. I think that it's kind of like the developer needs to work on making sure that game is fully optimized for my console when I get it. I shouldn't have to go and buy 5 other things to plug in that are costly to make the game run better. That's a them problem, right? I'm the customer. So, when it comes to different things like services and subscription-based things and different features, I think I've said this since Xbox One. I liked Connect. You guys know that. I'm a big fan. I liked having that. I liked having Snap. I liked it because I like football. I like sports. So I liked having the TV in the corner while I played a game. That apparently the rest of gamers didn't, but that's fine. So when it comes down to features and subscription services and things like that, I think those are great things. They really are. They're really nice, like pad the stats. But at the end of the day, you have to look at it. You know, if you went November 20th or whatever the day was, pardon me if I'm wrong on that, and you bought an Xbox Series X and you bought a PS5, you know, I think they were released, they were staggered by a week there. You have to look at, now I have the, you know, Series X and I have a PS5, and I stop and I look at it and I say, okay, you could sit there and say, well, I use my Series X a lot. I play a lot of multi-plats and older games on Game Pass. That's fine. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But your PC could do that, or your Xbox One could do that, or your Xbox One X could do that, or your Xbox One S could do that. So a lot of times you sit there and you say, well, you know, I've got the Series X. I want to play this thing and see what it actually can do. And yes, Horizon Forbidden West was a cross-generation game, but my God, it was stunning. It was glorious. And it was quite an improvement when you go from Horizon Zero Dawn to Horizon Forbidden West. I thought as far as mechanics, I thought as well as they made the inventory and the tracking system, I think that they made a lot of just overall great advancements to the game. I mean, to speak on the improv. And that's just one of the games. I mean, I platinum Miles Morales. You know what I mean? Really love that. I platinum Returnal. Today we're going to get into the other part. I don't mean to completely take over the show here, Brett, but we're going to get into the state of play. And we saw Returnal DLC coming. I mean, there's just, you buy a game, they keep giving you Ghost of Tsushima, platinum that. You got your PS5 perks on that with frame rate enhancements, etc. And then they threw Legends out there, and then they're throwing another thing out there. Rivals, they're throwing another. So, you know, when you sit there and you say, you take your favorite platform hat off for a minute, and you look at your two consoles you have sitting next to each other. I'm not saying you play one more than the other, but I'm asking, what are you playing on one versus the other? Because if you're just playing multi-plats on one, well, to me, and I've said this for years, not tonight, I've said this for years, multi-plats are a wash. Okay, if I'm playing on Xbox and B's playing on PlayStation, and we're both playing WWE like you guys were just talking about, well, I mean, we're both playing. There's no true advantage to either of us playing that game on either console. They're both playing at just about the same everything, right? On both. So that's a wash. So when people are like, well, I love my Series X. I've been playing all day. Well, I've been playing GTA 5. I've been playing Warzone. I've been playing Fortnite. I don't know what you're talking about, Mooch. Well, I mean, that's everywhere. You know what I mean? You can't say, well, I've been playing my Series. You play anything with those games. So when I come down to it, why am I buying the consoles? Why do I need to have both in my home day one? And that's pretty much, for the most part, to say I'm going to play your exclusive content. And here we are, you know, it's you know, March 2022, and you know, what new IP have we played from Xbox? You know, and we're sitting here, and I know everybody goes, well, you got to wait. Well, I've been doing Xbox podcasts for a very long time. We've been waiting since 2018, and that was Sea of Thieves. You have to go back years before that, you know? So, I mean, again, when it comes down to it, I like to listen to a lot of the media. I like to get, they're very knowledgeable. They do have good insight. They have great communication with the executives and the different platform executives. So there's a lot to learn there. But at the same time, you can clearly see that there's a push to try and get Xbox and its features at the front of the line instead of actually talking about what we love to talk about, and that is, at the end of the day, the exclusive games and content for each platform. Thank you, everybody. Tip your waitress. I've got to go. No, I mean, that's. You know, I mean, that's.
I feel like I'm on Crossfire, Mooch.
Yeah.
I
apologize in advance.
And you know, that's actually kind of a segue to, you know, the Pack Attack. Michael Patcher, who was on a show, was on RDX yet last night, and it said, in his own words, that the PlayStation will be dead in 10 years. Now, Chrono, I don't know if you heard that, but this is quote unquote industry analyst Michael Patcher, who, by the way, I mean, Michael Patcher. Let's just talk about Michael Patcher real quick. No one really pays attention to him anymore. Even people in the industry don't pay attention to him because he makes these outlandish comments that just nothing. He predicted the death of the consoles. You guys remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw all the articles.
Yeah. I mean,
dead ass didn't even know that guy was still around until I saw it on the timeline.
You just proved my point, E.
He's around still?
Yeah, you just pulled you basically proved my point. He's okay. Michael Patcher is the guy. Look, the guy's probably. I heard he's a hoot to hang out with. B, did you hang out with him at E3? Was that you? Somebody hung out with him, drank whiskey, smoked cigars with him. I don't know if that was you.
No,
B.
that wasn't me. That wasn't me.
Okay, but somebody's like actually like he's a great guy. Hang out with, have a couple drinks, smoke a couple cigars. Hey, all right, it's cool. But
That was the Pope.
what's that?
I'm sorry.
Did you say so's the Pope?
So's the Pope. Yeah, they say he's mad chill to hang out with.
I tell you what, if the Pope drinks, let me tell you something. If the Pope drinks whiskey and smokes cigars, I gotta hit the Pope up. I got a confession. I got a long confession to make. But no, he actually said this. He said, that Xbox has this insurmountable lead when it comes to subscription services, and that PlayStation would be, dead in 10 years. Yeah, I heard that. I'm like, come on, Michael, come on. Like, put the L down. Let's not go there, because it is that statement by itself just glosses over so many things, like the fact that Sony has valuable intellectual property in their first party titles. Sony could easily pivot to a subscription service, and people would go there because they have valuable IP and Chrono. I mean, look, we joke around. You actually do get paid to shill for PlayStation because you work for them.
Yes.
But you hearing this, right? And not just because you work for Sony, but hearing this, like, what comes to mind when you hear something like that?
So I want to give Michael Patcher the benefit of the doubt. I mean, this is his job. This is what he does. Maybe there's a set of numbers that we just don't know about that somehow predicts that he sees, and he's analyzing, and he's making this prediction based off of that very strong knowledge that we don't have. With that said, let's assume for a minute that he's right. So he's saying that in a console generation, we're going to that PlayStation is going to die. That's really what he's suggested.
Yes,
I mean,
yes, and there's this insurmountable lead with streaming services, right? With Game Pass, that Microsoft has this insurmountable lead. There's no way that Sony, if they had to pivot, could do so and survive.
Aside from assuming that the internet providers get on board and actually provide the United States or with quality internet, I don't see that happening within a generation. But again, let's give Michael the benefit of the doubt.
No, we don't have to do that, Chrono. I'm letting you off the hook. You don't have to give him the benefit.
Yeah, Chrono, you're being too nice.
Since the early Xbox One, PS4.
But
I'm serious. I can't think of anything that he's predicted that actually hit. B, correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, you ain't wrong.
It's just there's a lot of things that he's saying that it's just like there's a lot of things that would.
Yeah.
Oh, did we lose Chrono?
Oh, Pat got him?
Oh, I think Jim Ryan got him.
I was gonna say, I don't think Sony's letting him talk.
Sony's like, hey. Jim Ryan's like, hey. Whoa. I don't know what happened to Chrono. Hopefully he's okay.
Jim Ryan would not cut off Chrono for telling Pachter to be quiet.
Yeah, I was probably Pachter probably rolled up to his house. Was like, no mas. Yeah. E, but you're right, E. You were saying that he hasn't been right in God knows how long.
No, and I find Pachter to be entertaining. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of wild that he threw that out there. Like, what are you basing that on? I don't know. It's kind of funny to me. We're just going to simply base it on like the timeline. Let's not base it on the gaming community as a whole. Like the people who don't even know what the hell VRR and all that other stuff means, who are probably just figuring out, how Game Pass works and are still, probably buying games traditionally, right? Whatever, right? Let's just base it on the timeline. Because like day in, day out, you keep seeing this thing where it's like, Sony's done because they don't have the pockets that Microsoft has, right? That's basically what people base it on, is the fact that Microsoft has all of this money to spend, buying things up, doing whatever they need to do. In the same breath, I see pretty much fanboys bitching and complaining that Sony's marketing deals are bullshit, and they keeping things away from Microsoft. How the hell can broke and they like to say Sony's broke? How the hell can broke ass Sony keep anything from Microsoft? Can you guys answer this question for me? How can broke ass Sony keep anything away from Microsoft? Microsoft can keep things away from Microsoft. So why don't people get mad at Phil? And again, I don't even think you should get mad at Phil, because people have this thing too, like Phil is the only person sitting in this office at Microsoft doing everything. I'm like,
yeah.
If anyone knows how a corporate office works, and somebody who's like Phil is at the head of it, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of people that are doing a lot of things to make Phil Spencer look good. Phil doesn't make all of those decisions on his own and makes those things happen. If he's a good leader, he sits and listens to people, which I've heard that happens, and they make things happen and they do things, right? Ultimately, what he is the lightning rod. When you go to that position and that head of that thing, you're the lightning rod for when something goes wrong or something goes right. Right? Mm-hmm. So again, I say, how can broke ass Sony keep anything away from Microsoft? Microsoft decided they're all in on Game Pass, not necessarily marketing deals. So you can't be bitching and mad because you don't have a superhero game, when Microsoft could go out and drop the dough and license any superhero they probably want you outside of Spider-Man.
Superhero.
To make an exclusive game for Xbox. Maybe they're going to do that. Maybe they're not. But nothing. If they have the deep pockets, everyone likes the juggernaut pockets that everyone likes to brag on. There is nothing that can stop Microsoft or Sony from, doing what they want to do. Sony has no ability to stop it. It's just Sony has a way of doing what they do. They get it done. Microsoft doesn't push back on it. That's what it looks like to me.
It's funny you bring this up, E, about the whole thing with on one hand they say they're broke, on the other hand there's somehow they're able to weasel their way and money had and be this evil company. It's like you can't have it both ways, right?
Right.
But I always say this, it's not just Sony that's just walking into the offices of Square Enix and saying Final Fantasy VII is ours. That's it. Blah. No, it's a business deal between two parties, and people act like the other party doesn't have a say in this. The publisher or the developer in this case, right?
Yeah,
I think when it comes down to it too, we're kind of forgetting something. And shout out to Mr. M in the chat here. He says what Pachter is saying is if their services aren't sustainable, in quotes, he says this very well could happen. And the thing about it where I think Mr. M is wrong, and he also said something down below, which I would discuss in a second, is that when it comes down to it, listen, technology is growing by leaps and bounds, right? We know this. Mm-hmm. Okay, there's no hiding that. But and you guys know I love making this reference because honestly, there's something that we as people.
Wait, is this a food reference?
Absolutely. There's two things we do need, right? We need shelter and we need food. Right?
There's one more thing.
Right?
There's one more thing, Mooch. No, but another thing.
What else?
Great wine.
Well, absolutely.
Gotta have vino.
That'll be in column B, just in case. But I mean, but the point when he says, if their services aren't sustainable. There's no doubt that Sony is trying to keep up with the Joneses, and the fact that what I mean by that is they're doing Spartacus. Now, Spartacus is not, unlike how the media is running with it in certain articles, it's not a game, as it currently is being propositioned, pardon me, as it's currently being sold to us through leaks and et cetera, it doesn't seem to be a game pass.
Remember, allegedly.
Correct. Thank you for that. Allegedly. So that's perfect, by the way, Chrono.
It's funny.
But but Sony is doing their version of keeping up with certain services. They're taking PS Now, they're taking PS Plus. Maybe they'll take Crunchyroll, they'll take other things that they own, mix it all into a monthly service, throw it out there. But the one thing where Mr. M is wrong in his statement, I don't mean it in a bad way, is that, or Pachter as well, is it's about the game. So what I'm trying to say to you here with the restaurants is, I've got 2 or 3 of these phenomenal restaurants. You walk in there, it's still like old decor, right? Maybe they changed the carpet. Maybe they went to hardwood floors. Maybe they changed some of their silverware, right? They've got napkins with their initials on it. Okay, they changed all that little stuff, right? That's Spartacus. They took what they had and they merged it all together, made something nicer out of it. I got it. But at the end of the day, it's about how good the food is. And when it comes down to it, whether it's Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation, or a future company, it's about how good the games are. And the one thing I don't understand is I don't see how anybody in today's current state, never speak in absolutes and never speak too far into the future.
This is true,
But
Mooch.
as we currently sit today, it's very hard to say that if their services aren't sustainable, if Sony decides that they want to put a beloved game that everybody wants to play on only a disc, and that's the only way you can play it, well, you have two choices as a consumer. You're going to go buy that physical disc, or you're not playing it. Sony has the IP. That restaurant has the recipe. So if you want to eat at that restaurant, you're going to pay their prices. You're going to wait in line. You're going to call for a reservation 2 months earlier than you want to. Or you're not going to eat there. It's your choice. So when it comes down to something like this where it's an art form, I truly don't believe that it's if these things are not sustainable, they are writing the story, right? They're the dream tellers. They're what does the great Willy Wonka say, right?
Yeah.
Dream makers, right? They're the ones making this product. We're consuming it. And then Mr. M comes back. He says Microsoft and Sony's games department is basically in the same boat. Xbox is going third party. PlayStation is headed that way. So Xbox is going third party. That seems to be pretty clear. So I'm kind of with Mr. M on this one. That seems very clear. I think that could very well be the case in the future. Do I know? I have no idea. But when you see the acquisitions and the teams that they're building, they're clearly trying to be that emphasis out in the gaming world.
Yeah.
PlayStation, I'm not seeing that. Not yet, anyway.
No, because they're still trying to sell hardware. Yeah.
Right. They're trying to sell hardware, but even moving past that, right? Because we're going to get past that. But if you have to look at the acquisitions and the teams that they've bought, it's nothing where it was like a conglomerate. These are teams that were pretty much making games for Sony anyway. So these are almost like unofficial. It was like when Microsoft acquired Gears of War, right? They didn't acquire Epic, but they acquired Gears of War. That's always been their title. So it wasn't like they took Gears away. They didn't take Gears of War away from PlayStation. So when you have House Marquee and you have Blue Point, these teams were pretty much 90% of the time, doesn't mean they didn't make anything for Xbox, but they were making Sony games exclusively. So Sony's really staying traditional here. I haven't seen anything they're doing right now that anywhere leads me down the path that they're going third party. Microsoft's move, Activision, Bethesda, ZeniMax. Yeah, I mean, sure. I'm with Mr. M on that one. I kind of just step back and I look at all the cards on the table. I don't see PlayStation at this point looking to go anywhere near.
Yeah, but
third party.
And by the way, and this is the we have Razor Ramon, the wrestler here. He's saying the capping for Sony is hilarious.
I don't think it's capping. I think we're just having a discussion about the two different platforms.
And this is the issue that to kind of talk about social media. Like the art of discussion, conversation is it is a dying thing, right?
So if I start saying Pachter was 100% right, definitively they're out of here.
Yeah,
and that goes back to what Mooch was saying. That's where I was gonna. That's what I was gonna cap. What I was saying off with is when you start saying absolutes.
I was telling you stop capping for Xbox, man.
Right. So if I'm capping for Xbox, is he gonna be Ramon gonna be okay with that? If I'm like, yeah, 100% Pachter got this right. He's never wrong. He's on point with this. Just like the chick from G4, who people were going after her because she made the Xbox comment. Come on. We're having a discussion. We're on a podcast. We're talking about variables because we are not speaking in absolutes, and that's what Pachter did. As an analyst, it's kind of weird for an analyst to be like, "Yep, definitively they're out of here." These things ebb and flow. I haven't seen any other analysts put it out there like that definitively.
No,
they say things may go this way.
Correct.
If this trend keeps continuing, it
possibly
could go this way.
Yeah.
But guess what? Companies always tend to do as well. They pivot.
And that's
they can pivot. Or they could continue to stay the course and be gone. You just don't know.
Yeah, and that's my point. The pivot piece that he didn't address into the Razor Ramon who's saying we're capping. No, it's not cap when you have a conversation. If you don't understand Razor Ramon, the value of intellectual property, something you should probably look into because you take HBO as an example, right? Long before there was HBO Max, there was Netflix, right? HBO was able to pivot and provide a streaming service. Why? Because they have intellectual property that has value to it, that has value to the consumer. Things like Game of Thrones. And they also have a reputation, HBO does, of producing great content with high production value, great stories, they're really good at doing that, much like Sony is with their first party. Nintendo, as an example, like let's face it, Nintendo was in a rocky situation after, the Xbox, the Wii U, and Sony, Iwata was like, look, and I just had this conversation with Game Logic today. Iwata basically saw what the mobile market was doing, made a play on that to kind of create this hybrid device, and they were able to pivot. But Nintendo was able to pivot and be successful because they had something that allowed them to pivot. And that was intellectual property that has value to consumers. If you have that, right, you have a good chance, in Sony's case, of pivoting and doing a subscription type service. And look, Sony is not new to the streaming realm. They did it with the PlayStation Now. They've done it. They've done it before, and they may be able to do it again. And to E's point, like Patcher is speaking in absolutes, and he's not basing it on anything. No data points, nothing. Just, there's an insurmountable lead, and, they're going to be dead in 10 years, more or less. So, B, what were your thoughts on Patcher, man? I want to hear what your thoughts are, B, because I know I imagine you have some interesting thoughts on this, man.
Kind of like what you said, Patcher really hasn't stated or, said anything that was of any relevance over, the past generation. So, to me, this was, kind of just something that you scroll right by, look at it, laugh, and kind of keep moving. You know what I mean?
You got caught up in the moment, B.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, how can you say Sony's gonna be out of there when they're still, one of the highest grossing companies in their gaming division? You know what I mean? Like, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. They've basically doubled down on providing great content. All the stuff that we kind of normally see from Sony, where that we're just used to seeing a traditional third person action adventure game or whatever. Like, they've already said that they're opening up that portfolio, branching out. You know what I mean? So they're gonna gain more revenue, and what they're doing with PlayStation Productions is gaining them more revenue. You know what I mean? They are doubling down on PlayStation. Sony Music is involved in PlayStation now, so like. They understand that PlayStation is their driving force. So to say that they're going to be out of here in 10 years, I mean, that's just laughable. You know what I mean? Like, if there was something drastic to happen where Sony, had to pivot it to, survive and not be out of there, they'll definitely do that. But I think they're going to stay the course right now. They've made announcements of, some future plans. It looks like they're, going to stand by their VR plan. So, like, they have a plan in place, and as long as that continues to work for them, they'll be just fine.
Well, and shout out to Mr. M again, and I want to kind of, B Money actually nailed it. They're kind of doing more than that. They're taking their games, and now they've got of course Uncharted, the movie with Tom Holland just came out. They're calling that a success, which means they're already greenlighting a second one. They're also doing, of course, The Last of Us, which is on HBO. And now there's going to be something, I don't know if this is confirmed or it's not, but something possibly going to, I don't know if it was Amazon or where it's going, but maybe it's
God of War.
God of War, right? So they're doing exactly what B Money said. And you guys have to remember something, that PlayStation is Sony right now. Like, they doubled down on that company, that part of their company. That's their bread and butter. The other thing I'm trying to tell Mr. M here, and he's kind of going all over the place with it. He was saying that, they don't make money on hardware. The PS5 was reported to be making a profit almost out the gate this generation, which was much different.
They make very
pretty much within the first 3 months.
Go ahead,
Chrono.
I said pretty much within the first 3 or 4 months we started
right out the
making
gate.
profit on
I
the
said
system.
right out the gate. I said just about out the gate. Yeah, because there was an article.
Yeah.
It was right after consoles came out, and they said the PlayStation 5 is already making a profit for Sony. So then Mr. M comes back and he goes, "Well, wait, they lost $20 billion." I thought that report was I believe you saw it was in stocks. Stocks reported that they dropped stock when Microsoft did the news of the acquisition of possibly Activision. Sony stock dropped. They didn't lose. I don't know, Chrono. You tell me if I'm wrong there. That's your world. Did Sony lose $20 billion? I think it was possibly in stocks. But stock,
no, you're right. It was in stocks. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in stocks.
Yeah,
so,
our stock went down.
Well, Mr. M says, still, regardless, losing $20 billion in any fashion is not good. Well, Mr. M, I don't know. You dabble. I listen. I'm not going to pretend to be a stockbroker. That's something I don't do. I'll talk restaurants and other things with you, but I'll be honest with you. They didn't lose $20 billion was that day. Did they sell those shares and pull out at the loss? If they didn't pull the stocks out, what do you do? Like when you invest in stocks, right, BRAP? I mean, you don't lose it unless you pull it out.
And a lot of pause, by the way. Look,
pause. Well, you pull your stocks. I mean, that's what you do.
Something BRAP's not good at. Look.
BRAP.
Well, I'm just saying. Look. Look. Here's the thing though. It's not
children in the room.
Yeah, right. It's not. Yeah, that's how they arrive to the room. Look. It's not uncommon for companies to, and he's talking about the valuation of the stock dropping because of the acquisition. But they recoup that, so it's not. It's. I mean, come on, this is the part this is the shit that drives me crazy, right? Everyone is now all of a sudden armchair financial analyst, stock,
that's the thing when it comes down to it.
You don't know. Come on,
cares?
Really?
I mean, does anybody care that Microsoft just spent over $100 billion in 12 months?
I don't.
Does anybody care about that?
I could give
no. Everyone's like, "Oh, that's a great move."
Got juggernaut pocket.
It's like, all right, well, it's a great move. We'll see.
Look, I could give two shits. I mean, here's what people should care about. The platform that you prefer, is it giving you great gaming experiences? That's all that matters.
That's what it comes down to. That's what I'm saying. It's all about the
everyone's
game.
Everyone's a fucking developer. Everyone's a fucking financial analyst.
Everyone's an analyst. Someone we got a stockbroker.
But nobody's a gamer.
Yeah, but nobody's a fucking gamer, right?
Yeah. It's like at the end of the day, what is it you're legitimately you know what I mean?
Jesus.
It's just what is it we're doing at the end? Like I said, just before I got on BRAP, I just finished Horizon Forbidden West. You know what I mean? I play as much as I possibly can. I mean, everyone's schedule is different, and some people can play a lot more than I can. A lot of people can play a lot less than I can because of their schedule. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter to me. You want to see your company do well, right? You do want to see Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo do well, because if they don't do well, we don't get games. But at the same time, you can't say, well, Sony invested in this. Ooh, that might be bad. Or Microsoft did this. That might be awful. I mean, they got people that pay a lot of money to figure that out, not us.
No, that's what I'm saying. Everyone's a fucking stock analyst or financial analyst, Everyone knows, how the stock market works. Everyone's a real estate expert. But like he said, no one's a fucking gamer, right? That's the part that kills me. Yeah.
That's what we need to hear more of.
Yeah. B, what do you think, man? Would you agree with that, B?
I totally agree, man.
I mean, B, this shit is... B, you've been podcasting longer than I have, B. Has it always been like this? I can't remember because I'm older.
Man, it's definitely gotten worse over this last generation. I think, the Xbox One generation, I think a lot of people took that to heart. A lot of people who are, who say they're true Xbox fans, they didn't like the beating that they were taking in the media. They didn't like the beating they were taking on social media. I mean, I think once Phil kind of got the green light and was able to spend lots of money and come out and say he had the most powerful console, people kind of wore that on their chest, man, and they felt like they were coming back and winning a fight. So at this point now, Game Pass is the thing, and it's most consumer friendly gaming service out there, and you get all these games for one low price and all of this, so people kind of wear that as a championship belt, so to speak.
They're coming out like Hulk Hogan,
for sure,
NWO Hogan, Hollywood Hogan.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody coming out with the championship belt, they feel like they're on top of the world, and if you say anything that goes against what they believe in, then it's time to go to war. So it's definitely at the craziest point right now.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I'm seeing some of this stuff in the chat now, and I don't want to pick on Mr. M, but Mr. M, I'm going to pick on you because you're saying some wild shit, and I don't know. I hope you're joking or just trolling just for the sake of trolling, but you asked the question: if Sony is so profitable, why are they putting their content exclusive on other devices? I don't know. I mean, because they're a fucking for-profit company? Because they want to make money? I mean, what are we doing here?
To make more money. That's what I just
what
wrote.
Are we doing?
More money.
I mean, they sold 20 million copies. And guys, correct me if I'm wrong, please. I don't pretend to be an almanac, but they sold 20 million copies of God of War, 2018 version of God of War, right? I mean, not in 2018, but over the duration. Now they've sold another 4 million plus on PC. So to Mr. M, I mean, they're double dipping. It's.
Yo, I hope Mr. M, I hope you're high as shit right now, man, and fucking just enjoy yourself, man, because that is wild. That take is wild. Go ahead, B.
Guess what, Mr. M? Once the God of War show comes out, they're gonna sell more games because people who aren't even in the games are gonna be like, "Yo, what is this from?"
That's a great point.
Well, let me ask you, B and E and BRAP, you guys are in Chrono especially. God, he works for them. What PS5 exclusive is on PC right now?
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, man. So
none, right?
He's saying, he's saying, why hasn't Nintendo put their games on other devices? Oh,
they're selling you Switches.
I don't.
Well, I mean,
I don't.
Is there a PS5 exclusive game that's on PC right now?
Not yet, no, but that's coming.
No, well, because Mr. M said, he says, but you just released a brand new PS5. Make your profit there. No, I'm not trolling. But they didn't do that. They are making their money on PS5.
Why, Mr. M, why would you limit? If you're Mr. M, let's hope you never open a business. Number one. Number two. To make more, this goes back to making more money. They know that there's people out there, right, that are never going to buy a PlayStation, right? Yeah. Putting your game on PC makes sense for them because guess what? They can make more money. They can get people who aren't interested in the PlayStation ecosystem to buy PlayStation stuff. That's it.
Yeah. And
make more money in the process. Like big shout out to Double M. Make money, 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 money. He is absolutely correct. I mean,
absolutely.
I'm telling you, Mooch, social media is the death of society. I'm convinced now. God help us all. Seriously.
It's the anti-social media, Enrique. Look at the behaviors.
And one of the biggest difference too, though, one of the biggest differences, especially between what we do at PlayStation versus what Xbox does, everyone keeps saying, "Oh, I want God of War day and date." Well, you won't see that happen. PlayStation does not want to devalue what we're doing on the PlayStation 5 or PlayStation. We will release it first on our consoles, so that it makes as much money as we possibly can. And when it stops making money, we'll go ahead and release it on something else if that's what the market demands. Where Microsoft, their idea is, hey, we want as many people at one time hopping in. And they're not as concerned with the brand of Xbox, and they're more concerned with Game Pass.
They're more concerned with Azure and their services and selling that service. That's their money. That's their cash cow. And look at, and if you don't believe what Chrono's saying right there, right? And he works for Sony, but hear me out for a second. Look at movies, right? When we were going through the pandemic, a lot of movies were available on HBO Max, this and that. Now some are, but I just went and saw The Batman, which was a great movie, by the way. But I went and saw The Batman, and I'm not kidding you. Every single coming attraction said exclusively in theaters. Period. The minute they can now, and get your ass back in the seat. Right. So my point, you might go, well, Mooch, where are you going with this? It's what Chrono was saying, but just a different analogy, different example. So now that everyone's back out again and about, they're like, they want to double dip. They want the $25 from you to go watch it in IMAX, and then they want you to go buy it or rent it or own it at home later and spend anywhere again from $10 to $20 to $40.
Mooch,
it depends on what the type of media you're consuming. But I mean, that's what they're doing, and then they saw that they weren't making that much money by going day and date at home.
Mooch,
that's why they reverted back.
It's funny you bring up IMAX, and the only reason I'm going to bring this up is because IMAX, right? How about there's a price differentiator for IMAX, right? Right?
Yeah, IMAX,
yeah. That's not, but $10 game increase, $70 game, $60 games problem. You see where I'm going with that?
Oh, I listen. That's the one thing. I know that this is. It's
what
a
have I
tough
been saying for the longest?
E, you've been saying this for the longest.
What do you say?
Let E say it.
Every industry goes up in price, but the minute you mention games, they're like, "That's bullshit," and it's coming from the same cats that said last generation $60. I'll wait for a sale.
Yeah, it's the same
You
thing.
know,
Here's-
I'm saying the same
different.
shit.
Here,
What's the
and
difference?
here's the thing: we could all be adults here, okay? This is the part that drives me fucking crazy. If $70 is not your bag, don't fucking buy it. Be an adult. Make a decision. Wait for it to come on sale,
BRAP,
or buy the $60 version of the game.
Horizon Forbidden West cost me $69.99. Okay, plus tax, a little over $70, whatever. I just put 70 hours in. That's roughly $1 an hour. There's nothing in the world.
No.
There's nothing in the world. Could you imagine anybody listening in the chat right now? If I came up to you and I gave you $1 and I'm like, you go ahead and enjoy that next hour. It's on me. What are you doing with $1? What are you doing with that $1 for an hour? Nothing.
You
Go to-
can't even get a bag of chips for $1, man.
Right?
No.
Well, even if
No.
you get the bag, even if you get the small bag, B, right on the corner, you can go get those for. Listen, that thing's lasting you about maybe a minute and a half. And that's if you eat real slow.
And if you're Mr. M, he's probably lasted
break 'em
30
up.
seconds.
You got to eat that bag of chips like Drax was when he was pretending he was invisible.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Oh my
that's how
God.
you make that last an hour.
Oh my God. He said when Drax was invisible.
Okay, like there's nothing in the. So when people go, Mooch, how come you're not so upset about the $10 increase in pay? I'm like, well, listen. I said, now if this is a regular trend to go up $10 a year, you're going to hear Mooch say something about it. But the reason I'm not is it's been like 15 plus years since they went up. They went up $10, right? Okay, but look at the games now. Look at Returnal. Returnal cost me $70. Now I'm going to get free DLC, right? Like they're still giving you stuff for it. And plus, I'm not kidding you. I have 120 hours in Returnal.
That's insane.
120 hours in Returnal, and that's nuts. It was 112 or 120. Either way, I don't mind being wrong in either of those. It's one of those. And my point being is that like that was $70. Like you just said, I went to go see the Batman IMAX, right? With a thing of popcorn and soda, which the popcorn and the soda made gas look cheap.
Yeah, man.
Okay? So like it was a very expensive
Mooch.
2 hours and 45
Mooch.
minutes.
Was the gas usage to the movie theater more expensive than actually watching the movie? Is what you're saying?
I tried to be like Doc Brown. I took the leftover soda and popcorn and I was putting it into the back of my DeLorean hoping I could get home. Yeah, I'm you know what I mean? It was that expensive. It should run like gasoline. But you know,
and that's an increase. You think about the last 4 or 5 years of like theater going, it has steadily increased from what it once was to what it is now. Like a matinee. I mean, we're of a certain age, so we remember the days when a matinee was like $3, right? $3 or $4.
oh my God, yeah.
I remember remember the dollar movie theaters?
Yeah, matinee was like $8. I remember when it went to like $7, like the $7 to $8, right? It was like, oh shit. But guess what? I didn't say I'm boycotting the movies. I was like, I want to go to a movie.
Right?
Here's the funny thing. People say, well, is it really worth it? And look, this is no thing of like Game Pass versus paying. You pay for what you find value in and
That's right.
entertainment.
That's right.
So here's the thing. You could pay that money, go see the Batman, go see whatever, right? And especially if you have like the kids and everything else, that's easily over $100 day, right?
Yes, sir.
And there's no guarantee that it's going to be good. Just like a game, right? So people are like, well, what if I buy that game for $70 and it sucks? Sometimes shit like that can happen, right? But the fact of the matter is like, you do that in a movie, you'll go right back out and do the next weekend. Nothing stopped you from saying, well, that last week when I went to that movie was complete shit and I spent $70. I'm not doing that ever again.
Right.
You know,
I'm
the
never
next
doing
weekend,
that again.
Oh, this new joint came out. I'm going to go do that.
That's a good
that
point,
was
E.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
I wasn't happy that I paid what I paid for the Batman, right? But I got news for you. The minute another good movie comes out, I'm there.
There you go. Because it's your entertainment.
So why am I
value,
going to sit here on BRAP or any other show and complain more than to make a quick joke? But you know what I mean? Like I don't. That it goes back to the restaurant mantra I said earlier. So if you don't like the food reference, take the movie reference. They're dictating the price. You have two choices. Don't go watch the Batman till it comes to your home, or you're going to pay those prices.
Right. Because the matinee price now is like $12, and then if you go a little later, it's like 14, and then when you go at night, it's like 20, like 22 or something like that. It's and you go to, especially if you go to iPick or something like that. But it's not stopping people from doing that. People aren't sitting there saying. Some people may say, "Well, I'll wait for it to come to a streaming service or whatever." But a lot of people aren't doing that, and we see that by like the returns on what a lot of movies are doing. You know, breaking box office records. People are going to the movies. They're going out and doing that. Go out to eat now. You know, I mean, everything has gone up, but like you said, we need to eat. We need to.
Let me ask you an odd question, E. I got a question for Eric. So this is something I've been talking to a lot of my buddies that I play Warzone with. We were kind of just, BSing back and forth about it. And he's a buddy of mine said, I didn't say this, but I thought it was really interesting. He's like, this is kind of hard for me to say, Mooch. He's like, this is like, it doesn't make a lot of, like, people wouldn't agree with it off the cuff, but the more you think about it, he's like, if I buy a game, like if I go physically go buy, and I want to play it, right? And I go buy the game for $60 or $70. He's like, I'm inclined. I sit down, I want to play the game. He goes, but then he has Game Pass. He goes, but then if a game goes in the Game Pass and he goes, I want to play it, right? He's like, I'll get to it. Like, I'll just, and he's like, I'm going to keep playing Warzone. I'll get to it later. He goes, there's a game I've wanted to play in Game Pass. He goes, it's been sitting there for like, I think it was even Halo Infinite. He said, I didn't even get the Halo Infinite campaign yet. Because he's like, I'll get to it. It's there. But he goes, if Halo Infinite was, I had to go buy it, I would have bought it, beat it, right? He's like, and he's like, it's almost like there's something to that, and I haven't been able to put the right wording to say it like, in a certain statement, but there is something to it. It's like when you buy a movie, right? You buy a movie on 4K ultra high definition DVD, right? You come home that Saturday night, you pop it right in, right? You're watching it. If I go to you, that movie that you wanted, it's on Amazon, and actually I think it's on HBO too. You go, okay, well then I'll watch it sometime next week. I got something else to do Saturday night. Maybe the movie I bought.
Right.
The movie I bought, I'm gonna watch tonight. But what I'll do, Mooch, is check that one out on Tuesday, Wednesday, or maybe 8 Tuesdays or Wednesdays from now. So, and it's interesting because there's a mental thought process there. Same thing with like gym membership, right? It's like if you have access to a free gym, you got a treadmill in your house. What do? You put clothes over it.
Mooch, there's definitely
right. But then if you pay $25 a month or $10 a month, you're more inclined to go use the gym membership.
You know what's interesting? It's interesting. There's a psychology behind. It's definitely psychology behind consumer behavior, right? And like
absolutely,
like
that's what I'm trying to say.
Like when you invest in something monetarily, right? You're probably more likely to either stick it out, right? Even if you don't like it, or you're really going to spend time with it because you put money into that. You get something for free, you may or may not, be as inclined to stick around.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, there is something to be said for that, and that's, and I'm not saying, look, because I know people are going to.
I'm not saying it's for everybody, or no. Listen, if you like he said, enjoy the games wherever you're enjoying them.
Absolutely, that's paramount.
It doesn't matter to me, But I mean, when it comes down to it, and you pose the question,
say that again, Mooch. It doesn't matter to you. But
it doesn't matter to me. Yeah, absolutely.
Too many people take this thing personal, where it's like where you play and how you choose to play. We're seeing it with the gatekeeping with Elden Ring. Like, oh my God, you're playing as a mage and you're standing back and firing. You're a bitch. What?
Oh my
it's
God.
Like, I'm sorry, but unless you're putting that on your resume and it's getting you a 6-figure job, I don't think anybody's walking into an office and saying, hey, hire me because I just beat Elden Ring, with one hand tied behind my back. Oh my God, come on. We'll give you a 6-figure job. Fuck out of here. It's like,
I do know what you mean. It was funny because when I did my stream last week, shout out to BRAP. BRAP was there, and I said, BRAP was a couple people who were saying, and I think I said I wasn't quoting them, but they were saying that there's certain elements of Elden Ring that make it feel like they've made certain things more easy. I would say easier than past Souls games. And BRAP made a good point. BRAP goes, I don't really feel that way. He goes, because these games have a certain level of difficulty to them, and if you're able to what is it there? Kind of like crouch into tall grass and be able to get a backstab on an enemy, or if you can, like you said, be a mage and you can fire a long distance at an enemy. There are going to be enemies in the game where you are not going to be able to do that.
Exactly.
So you're seeing a few people on a few different instances with a few different bosses. Yes, you can do that. That's fine. But that's not you're not going to be able to do that through the entire game. So,
and here's my thing. I mean, it's like if From didn't want you doing that, they would not have included it in the game. They're giving you all the tools to play how you want to play. You may want to do that mage build and try that. It may not work for you. So you may want to do a dexterity build the next time around. Here's the funny thing. Why do these games continue on for years in a community when people keep talking about it? Souls games are, and I know we're about to go on another tangent. We're going to circle back around to the game disparity thing. But let's just talk about the From games, the Soul game for a minute. There's a reason why they continue to be played. People can pick them up years from now, play them, and still be a part of the conversation. It's the way their stories flow, kind of the way their mechanics flow. You can sit and watch someone play it and show you how to beat a boss, that same thing you going to try that will not work for you.
100%. 100%.
You can go in there and be like, I got the tools. Oh, that's how he did that.
I've
That's
had
how he
BRAP.
did that.
I've had the Great Sin Vendetta in my ear being like, Mooch, what you got to do is this, this, and this.
Right.
And I try it, I die, then I do it my way. Right?
Yeah. That's what makes these games work.
100%.
So that's why this whole gatekeeping thing around it is like, you're not this level of a man if you didn't beat it the same way I did with using what I did, and you didn't run in guns.
I've always done like a knight or a stream. BRAP knows this is what we were talking about on the stream. I have always done a knight / like strength build, which is melee and up close combat. So I said to him, I would like to have a character that has a splash of like the mage or magic, because all of my past, whether it be Bloodborne or Dark Souls 3, I've always done that robust like knight builds with just strength. Like everything's just strength and vitality. And it's like I wanted to kind of switch things up, but I'm still doing a predominantly strength character with a splash, like I say, a splash of like the magic in there, because I like that. My style of that game is quick attack, roll, get the hell out of dodge, quick attack, roll, get the hell out of there. That's just the way I play that game. And like you said, I'm telling you right now, 3-4 bosses in, somebody would be like, Mooch, that's not like, shout out to BitCloud. BitCloud was there. He stayed while I beated the ogre there, or whatever that dropped down, that massive monster that dropped down out of the nowhere. Anyway, so he was there and he's like, Mooch, what you got to do is this, this, and this. And he had a couple of, and I used a couple of his ideas, and a couple, he's like, you're not doing what I told you. And I was like, no, I'm doing it a little different. He's like, all right, man, whatever works. And he was on the stream too. And it was like, it like you say, there's different ways to attack that game. That's what makes that game kind of special. You know what I mean? It's not like it's Contra, right? Where it was 2D and you just shoot right across into the glowing like blue orb. Like there's more to it than just that. So there's different ways to attack these games, and I don't think anybody should criticize anybody's methodology on how to beat an enemy in any game.
No, because like I see this guy Chris in there. He's giving me pushback saying it's not gatekeeping and magic. Using magic is easy mode. Again, take that up with From Software. They put it in the game, just like people cheese bosses. I've seen guys who consider themselves hardcore Souls guys. I want to cheese bosses. That's not really like skating around it. That's hey, it was in the game. I did it. Same guys who gatekeep through a Souls game are the same guys who put down a Sekiro. I can't figure this shit out. I can't do it. Because
Sekiro was hard.
No, because it took away some of the ways that you play a Souls game. You have to kind of play Sekiro the way Sekiro wants you to play it. And I've watched guys who consider themselves hardcore, I'm throwing my air quotes, Souls guys who do this gatekeeping thing, not be able to get through that game and put it down. Where I've seen other people who didn't really care for Souls games pick it up and platinum it, or get 1,000 gamer score in it because it clicked to them. It made sense to them. But man. This whole thing is like, again, we love gaming. Gaming is important. Gaming is like our soul, but gaming is not the end all be all to where people have this thing about, it's got to be played a certain way, or you're just not on the same level. You're not elite. It's weird. It's like games are meant to be played in a certain way.
Perhaps the resident Elden Ring.
Look.
You're the executive on that, but like I said, I just finished Horizon, so now I will be starting Elden Ring seriously.
I do think one thing, because the conversation always, whenever there's a Souls game that comes out, there's always this conversation about accessibility, and I think people conflate accessibility with difficulty scaling in a game, right? Those are two different things. People, I think, conflate the two. And I don't know. I don't think that From needs to make a game that scales on an easy mode. You don't. If again, we're all adults here. If it's not for you, don't fucking buy it. I mean, like I just don't. It's frustrating because it's like all they could. It's like everything that we do as consumers, when it comes to video games, gets thrown out the window. It's too expensive.
Well,
don't buy it.
Something we said.
It's too hard. Don't play it. I mean, there's
Crossfire 2 weeks ago.
Wait, hold on, Mooch. Hold on. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
There's options. My point is, there's options, and like we treat it's almost like this sense of entitlement with gaming community. Well, if it's not catering to my needs, well, damn it, it's bad. No, it's just not for you. Recognize that it's not for you, and don't sound like an entitled little shit thinking that everything should be catered to you, because no, that's not how the world works. Like any other consumer product.
Not everything is for everyone.
Exactly. You know what?
I'm not
that's what I was
I'm
just
not
gonna
built
say.
for skinny jeans.
Yeah, right. I don't wear skinny jeans. You know, skinny jeans are definitely off of BRAP.
But the thing that's important, BRAP, is what you just said. That's what I was interrupting. I apologize. I shouldn't have. But I got to be honest with you. I not every game is for every person. We started this show tonight. We started BRAP tonight with you guys talking about that WWE game. Myself personally, I would rather repaint everybody on the podcast's house than play that game. Like, I have no interest in that at all. You know what I mean? At all. Like, you know, I made myself a sandwich while you did that segment. I gotta be honest. But the point of the matter is this: that's okay. And there's a game I like that B or Chrono doesn't want to play too. When I saw everybody flocking to Elden Ring, I was really kind of excited about that. I said, this is great. This might be that big stepping stone for From. And I think at the end of the day, it probably will be. But then I saw, like you said, a lot of people complaining online, various subjects. It wasn't just difficulty. It was various things. And I said, you know, if it's not for you, that's fine. But there's nothing even to comment about it. It's like, you don't like it, that's fine. I think people just went out and bought it because it was FOMO. You know, people were like, oh my God, everyone's talking about it. Maybe I've always been wrong on From games. And sometimes that works, and sometimes it doesn't. I did that when I platinum Bloodborne. I didn't know until I played Bloodborne. I was like, I've always thought those From games were horrid. And then I played Bloodborne. Right?
No, I think for you, also Dark Souls 3 was like one of the first ones you kind of dove in on.
That's right. Yeah. Dark Souls 3 is one of the first ones I kind of like dabbled on, but Bloodborne is the only one that was the one I completed from beginning to end. And I loved every second of it. And then I became a From admirer, because the idea about it is I like the way they make the games. I like how the game does punish you. I like how the game, well, again, now in this one here, they made it a little easier to summon. Right? No.
Can I say something real quick? I don't want to cut you off. Can I say something real quick?
No, please.
When it comes to something like a Souls game or whatever, for years, and B, correct me if I'm wrong, what do people keep saying? Why can't these games get respect? People keep running from them. Why don't they get the respect? Like, people keep running from them. They're not as difficult, whatever. More people have their eyes on these games now than ever, and that community, a lot of times the community around it want to push them away. Yep. You're not playing it right, bitch.
Jesus, that's okay. That's a little aggressive. If someone's saying that,
great.
like, why would you?
Enrique, no, I've heard someone say that.
Yeah, that's
not me saying that.
That's called my priorities in life are mixed up. If someone thinks like that,
right.
Yeah.
No, that's not me. You know me.
I know you're not saying that. Yeah.
But that's just like, you're not. You know, you're not this. You're not that. If you're not, it's like, what? It's a game.
Well,
we're all nerds here. We're all nerds.
Well, let me ask this, a real quick question about, are you guys making a distinction between an easy mode and accessibility stuff? I mean, because like one of the big things that we've been doing at PlayStation, and even Microsoft has been doing that, is giving accessibility tools. You know, we have a whole division made specifically to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to play. You know, you saying, you know, well, maybe a From Software game isn't for you. I mean, can't it be? I mean, if a person can't play the From Software games properly because they have a neurological issue that prevents them from reacting quickly, you mean that they shouldn't be able to get a chance to play that game?
So I think. Go ahead, E. You gonna chime in?
No.
Oh,
go ahead.
No, I think, you know, that's where I think. You know, and I'm not saying that people shouldn't. You know, have the opportunity to play those games per se, but you know, I mean, like, I guess the reality of the matter is, I don't mean to sound cold, and I think if you say this, people think you're an asshole for saying it, but there's just certain things that people just, for whatever reason, if it's what you described, Chrono, they can't play. And I don't think that, you know, a developer should have to, you know, make the game they want to make to accommodate that either. You know what I mean? I think that's more of a, you know, a situation where, you know, there's certain games that you could be accommodated to, you know, people who may have challenges, whether physical, mental challenges, whatever. And maybe there's a hardware solution for that, right? But I don't think that, you know, From Software has to develop a game to accommodate everyone. you know? And I don't say that to sound cold-hearted. I just don't think they need to do that.
But I also think that
go ahead,
if
B.
the developer chooses to add accessibility to their game, then that developer shouldn't be called out for that either.
Right.
You know what
I
mean?
agree with
Like,
that too. Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Well, and that I think that's the biggest problem that we're seeing. You know, people, you know, if they add an easy mode, they're just like, oh, you're a punk for playing it on easy mode. It's just like, but it's there. The accessibility tools are there so that people can enjoy it. Why can't we turn on something that makes it easy for a colorblind person to see so they could actually be able to enjoy the game? You know, or it turns down the response time so that a person that does have a hard time hitting movements properly, this will give them a chance to actually play. So
yeah, and can I get on that, Kronos? Because what I want to say is like, yeah, for like accessibility, like you said, like color blindness, you know, there may be people who have the dexterity and the patience to play these games. They just don't have the physical attribute to hold the controller a certain way or whatever. So they can use like an adaptive controller. They have a controller that's adjusted, but they can still play the game. They should do so. I mean, you have people that beat these games using like, you know, Donkey Kong bongos, you know, just because they can do it, you know.
Didn't somebody blind beat Sekiro or something?
Something like that. But here's the thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with accessibility. I think where people get this muddled road is where, like, let's take Sifu and let's take like Metroid Dread, for example. Both of those games got new modes that do not touch at all the original game. It sits in between an easy mode and a much more difficult mode. It's the same thing in between that you played, that you can play, that you can platinum, you can do whatever. Doesn't change anything. So if someone picks this up and they're like, you know what? I just want to play through the game and see what they were trying to do. I don't really care about platinuming it. I don't really care. I don't really want the frustration. I'll just cruise through it on the easy mode. It doesn't change the game in the middle that they originally intended. And then there's people that are like, you know what, the one that's in the middle is a little too easy for me, and I'm definitely not playing that easy mode. I'm going to jump over here to this super difficult mode. No one complains about the super difficult mode being added, though.
Yeah,
right?
that's an issue. Yeah, they
because
don't.
Here's
Man.
my thing. I remember when Sifu, when they announced that they were gonna add an easy mode and they were gonna add a much more difficult mode. All these dudes ran out. I got to platinum this before they change the game. I'm like, they're not changing anything. They're keeping the same game that you're playing right now there. But you want to show that you're a real G and you have this thing about hard games? Why don't you hold off on finishing it the way it is right now and play that super hard mode and platinum that one?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do that.
Yeah.
No one spoke up on that.
Yeah.
Now, if the developer is listening to the community complaining and they decide to fundamentally change the game that they intended completely, then I think you have room to go, you know what, come on, guys. You had a vision. This isn't for it doesn't have to be for everybody. But adding accessibility, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Adding two different modes on top of what's already there, but not changing what is fundamentally already in the game, there's nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah.
But people get this thing where it's like this bragging right, crowning achievement within the gaming community where it's like you're not on the same level if you decided to do something the way I didn't decide to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with accessibility for people who love something that they're seeing, but it's like, I just physically can't do, but I would love to enjoy that. I don't think it takes anything away from what's already there.
Yeah. That's a great point,
That's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, I want to. No, that's a great point. I kind of want to piggyback to something in the live chat here because we have more armchair developers and financial analysts in the live chat. And B, this might resonate with you, but you know, I'm going back with the big man Razor Ramon, and you know, we're talking about, you know, he's like, oh, you know,
Razor Ramon.
Yeah. Say hello to the bad guy. You know, it's you know, it's funny, like, you know, we talk about the price, the game increase price. He's like, well, there's microtransactions. Well, microtransactions are optional, right? You know, and
they're not in every game, Enrique.
They're not in every game, and 5% of all games are actually successful, meaning they're actually profitable. And the price of game development has really gone up. And the issue with the gaming industry that the gaming industry has had with pricing is that we talked about the movie theater. Movie theaters have gone up tremendously since I've gone to the movies. But the reason why it's more why it's easier to stomach per se is because the music industry, the movie industry has done it small increments where, you know, we were paying. And by the way, Razor Ramon, you did want a game in 1988 when we were all on the NES because $50 games back then were the equivalent to like paying $115 today for like, you know, if you were lucky, you got a 40-hour experience out of that game. So back to Mooch's point about price per, value per dollar. But I thought you might find this comment interesting, B Money, about because he said, you can walk. Cars are optional too. No, cars are a necessity. It's a bad comparison. He said capping for micros play NBA 2K for months to get 99 over or pay this micro hat. You will happen.
Necessity? Who said that?
I want people to really stop and think. If there were no microtransactions, right? If your favorite publisher right now, let's just say it's Take-Two or EA or any of your favorite publishers out there right now, if they continue to make games with no microtransactions, would they be around today? Probably not.
No, many of them would not.
If EA didn't have FIFA microtransactions and Madden microtransactions, you think they would continue to fund BioWare who keeps fucking up?
No.
No, they wouldn't.
No, they wouldn't be.
Do you think that Take-Two would keep around a developer who made Mafia, which I can't think of right now? You think they would keep them around if 2K didn't have all those microtransactions? You think they would, a game that they just canceled that was like $50 million that should have been out probably this year, you think they would continue to keep that developer around if they didn't have those microtransactions coming in? Probably not.
Nope.
Probably not. You know what I mean? So you think Activision would continue to be around if they didn't have microtransactions? They only make one game, really.
Mm-hmm.
They bought all these studios, folded them in to make Call of Duty. They wouldn't be around without microtransactions.
Yeah.
You need to understand that money runs the world. And if there was no money coming in, after these big games that everybody claims that they care about, it wouldn't be around.
Yeah, and B, to your point, I mean, and that's where that's where I'm like the armchair financial analysts who don't know what they're talking about are saying, "Oh, greedy companies, microtransactions." Well, microtransactions are optional. Let's throw that out there. No one's forcing you to buy it. Again, you can put on your big boy.
As long as it's not pay to win.
Yeah,
absolutely, right.
Yeah, I have issues with pay to win, and there was that issue early on when microtransactions were first introduced. Right. They did get a little egregious, and you know what? The market corrected that. The consumers market, and this is what people forget, that the market will dictate whether or not something's acceptable. And the market is dictating that, yes, in fact, microtransactions are acceptable. People see value in those things. And just because you don't see value in it doesn't mean it's the fucking end of the world or it's the worst thing ever. It just means it's not for you. You are not the target demographic that's going to buy that thing, right? And that's fine. It's fine, right? It's also fine that people buy microtransactions because they want that new outfit. Hell, I spent $25 on freaking Halo Infinite because I hated the way my Spartan looked like he was in dire need of lotion because he looked so damn ashy. I needed a good look.
Me, player.
Yeah, but no, I mean that's a great point. Be like, and people don't realize you take that video games. Only 5% of all video games are actually successful and profitable.
I want people to understand. Just go to Metacritic and look at how many games have come out this year. Half of them you probably have never even heard of. You wouldn't even know what the games were if I told you the names of them. There's games that come out and release on these stores every day. Steam, PlayStation Store, Xbox Store, Nintendo Store. Get on the Switch right now. Look how many games are in the store. Half them games you probably never heard of in your life. Like there's massive games that come out every single day. Yep. Most of the games are not successful.
Yeah, that's true. 5%. Yeah.
That's a really good point. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. That's
there were not companies that had microtransactions. What do you think would happen?
Mm-hmm. You were talking about the market dictating what will and won't succeed. Do you remember back in the PS3 360 days when online passes were a thing for used games?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh man.
That's right. I remember the online passes for used games. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because the developers wanted to recoup. They wanted to get a piece of the action from the used sales.
Yeah,
Yep.
man. If you bought Madden used and try to get online, they said you can't get online unless you have online pass.
Yeah, you just spend an extra $10. I know Dead Space did that. Dead Space 3 did that. So, those were the
And
days.
guess what people did?
They stopped that shit quick.
The market. It wasn't sustainable. The market wouldn't sustain that business model, and so it just this whole thing, man. This conversation never ceases to amaze me because people just. They don't take into things like what B Money's saying. They don't take into account the rising cost of human capital. Let me tell you something. And I've had to hire people who are software developers, software engineers. The best of the bunch, they fucking name their price. And they're not cheap. And those skill sets are, especially right now, with the way the job market is, those skill sets are super high in demand. And it's basically if you look, I tell you right now, if you're somebody, and I said this to you, Mooch. Remember, I said, Mooch, if you're gonna if you're going to look for a job, now's the time to look because you can get like a 30% increase in pay.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because it is a buyer's or seller's market, if you will, use a real estate term, but yeah, I mean, and so those things impact the bottom line. They impact development cost.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, so
Sir.
B Money, more NBA 2K stuff, man.
I got you, man.
Hilarious, act like you can't comprehend. Example: NBA 2K makes billions off micros and now throws $10 on top of the same game. I'm going to pay the $10 and buy micros for the same game. 100, understand.
How do you think Private Division is funded? How do you think Hangar 13 is funded? Last game Hangar 13 put out was Mafia 3. It was a dud. They just got a game canceled. It cost $50 million to make. Threw $50 million out the window. You know what I mean? Like, without microtrans, you think somebody just giving away $50 million?
Apparently, Razor Ramon thinks so.
Of microtransactions, you think they would just continue to dish out money? That's not how business works.
Yeah.
I hate to tell people too, like I know again, people like to throw out Microsoft juggernaut pockets, but even they have a limit of what they'll go to and what they won't go to. That's how they become a $1 trillion company. Is you don't just throw away money. They have a very specific plan, and guys just think throw the money at it. No, that's not how it works. That's all calculated.
Yeah. And again, it's Razor Ramon failing to understand what B's saying, that that money just doesn't go in the pockets of the corporation. It's distributed to fund other projects too. That's how. I mean, I don't know, man. This shit's crazy. Anyhow,
Take Two has like 26 games that are coming out over the next 3 years. You think they could fund 26 games if they didn't have microtransactions? No, they wouldn't.
I mean,
that's just facts. Like, if they didn't have Grand Theft Auto that continues to print money, that's sold over 150 million copies, you think they would be able to fund 26 games? Probably
no.
Not.
No.
I mean, that's just facts. Look at it. Even Microsoft, all the developers that they have, all the games that we know that are coming, they can't produce the games fast enough. They have to continue to fund the development cost of those games. Money ain't just falling out the sky.
Yep. I tell you what, B, when Microsoft starts charging $70 for their games, woo.
Hey, and the acquisitions that they're making and some of the developers who use microtransactions, are Microsoft turning those off because they love us?
Right.
No.
Are they?
No.
They love
no.
us. No. They
No,
love us.
that's revenue. They're not going to.
We don't turn those off.
No.
We don't do that to y'all.
No.
They're gonna ramp them up.
Yeah, let me grab a super chat real quick from Neo Wise with the $5 super chat. It says, it took a long time for Souls games to go mainstream. Now people want them to change and add easy mode and change their identity. That's just dumb in my opinion. Thank you for that super chat, Sarah. Appreciate it, man. All right. I think we've ranted. All right. let's talk about
So Michael Patcher is insane. Then is that?
Yes,
is that
Michael
basically
Patcher's insane. Yeah, to bring it back, Michael Patcher is fucking insane. All right, let's talk about the Sony.
No, Enrique, he's an armchair analyst.
Yeah, he really is an armchair analyst. Yeah, he really is. Yeah, so let's talk about Sony State of Play. 20-minute State of Play, more focused on their Japanese partners. I would say for me, the games that really stood out to me. One, I thought we were going to get Dino Crisis, but that's not happening.
Oh, God, that was such a tease. I honestly thought the same thing.
Come on, Capcom. Like, just give us Dino Crisis already. I tell you what looks really caught.
Take that as like we're never going to get it, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty much. That's how I take it. B.
I thought we were about to get it, but just not the way we wanted it. I was like, oh no, they're about to Muso the hell out of this thing. But watch they add Dino Crisis characters to this shit, like DLC characters.
Yeah.
Well, they did that close up of the girl with the red hair. I'm just like, oh my God, is that Regina? And granted, I had it. Yeah, I wasn't paying 100% attention, and then all of a sudden I saw the gameplay. It's like, oh, okay, Dino Crisis is going really weird, and then she's like, oh, it's not Dino Crisis. Okay, all right.
What kind of budget you think that game's getting? That didn't look like it's not a big budget game, right?
No, it doesn't look like it.
Didn't look like it at all.
It's a new IP from Capcom, which is kind of scary. They haven't really done a new IP in a while. And they announced that Pragmata game, and we never really saw anything about it, and then it got delayed. So now we got this new IP. So it's, I don't know. Like, Capcom was in a really good place when they were remastering and coming out with the new Resident
Evil. Yeah.
But I don't know. We got to see what they're doing with these new IPs.
I mean, I like the dinosaur element, and that excites me because anything with dinosaurs is cool. But just that gameplay was just like, I don't know what's good. No, I'm not liking this.
Yeah, that didn't do anything for me either.
Yeah, it didn't either. It kind of like it looked okay, but it made me even want Dino Crisis more, which I at this point, like B said, I'm just not convinced it's ever going to happen. So, but I will say there's one game that really stood out to me, which is Trek to Yomi, which is that game from Devolver Digital, that side-scrolling black and that game.
That was like Ghost of Tsushima meets Sifu.
Yeah.
It's definitely on my radar. I mean, I can tell you right now. I mean, I'd like to see a little bit more, but if you said to me, Mooch, you have to say it's a buy. Or you're passing. That's definitely a buy. But like I say, that's if you're literally saying I had to make a call. I'd like to see a little bit more on it. My game, and then I'll let you guys talk about that one a little more. I really thought, and I might be saying it wrong, and I apologize, but Valkyrie, was it Elysium?
Yeah.
That game
that got my
attention. I understand. Maybe it wasn't. I saw some people saying it wasn't graphically amazing or whatever, but like I genuinely thought that game looked pretty good. That's something that I thought was that, and the game that the two games that I wrote down were the ones BRAP just mentioned and this one here. Those are the two games that really stuck out for me. And of course, me being the returnal lunatic that I am, I'm very excited for that DLC and the DLC's co-op. That's the icing on the cake right there.
And it's free.
And it's free.
Yeah. No, it is free. Yeah. Go ahead, B.
What I tell you about them Sony boys over there? I told you that multiplayer stuff was coming, man.
Yep,
it is.
You did say, I mean, B, for those who didn't listen to what you said last time, can you refresh our audience about this?
Tell me, man. Everybody who's doubting Sony and they don't have any multiplayer games. Look at everything they've done. Every game that's come out recently. Bring a little multiplayer in there. Get you excited. Multiplayer games are on the way, man. Don't sleep. I've been telling you this for a while.
I want to back B up there. I'll be honest. I think the second half of this generation, because they're cooking. I think the second half of this generation is going to be a lot of multiplayer focused games coming from Sony. They're going to end this generation, of course, with their strong single player. but they've got those teams that we know that are working right now on multiplayer games, and they're going to be. I think the big kickoff is going to be how good or how great the Last of Us 2, Last of Us Factions 2, however you want to call it. I don't know what they're going to call it, but whatever that will be is I think what's going to kick it off. And then I think B's right. I think you're going to see an influx of multiplayer centric games on PlayStation, and that's a big deal because we really haven't seen that in past generations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
maybe PS3 with mag and things like that, but they didn't work out. I think they're going more. They're gonna put their PlayStation spin on it. They're gonna use some more traditional things that they know gamers love to play.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's gonna be an interesting take. I completely agree and buy in on what B's saying.
Yeah, and Jeremy, what do you think about that, man? Because again, you get paid to shill for them. So, would you? I mean, I think you probably agree that multiplayer has definitely been a spot where Sony definitely need to improve in terms of exclusivity. Right? They've relied for so many years now on things on deals with Destiny and Call of Duty but that's kind of been a gap in their portfolio. What do you think, man? Is this kind of something that do you agree with B? Do you see them still addressing this and building out their portfolio of multiplayer co-op type experiences?
I definitely so. And we sort of talked about this last week. There's a reason why we spent the kind of money that we did to get Bungie. We're relying on their expertise to help us build that portfolio, to give our teams the tools needed to, make multiplayer as well as, games as a service, make it a business, as a viable business model. So yeah, I have no doubt in my mind that we're going to definitely see a lot more multiplayer stuff come out, whether it be add-ons to existing games or standalone games. I have no doubt in my mind that we're going to be seeing that. Definitely. You're right. Our portfolio has focused very heavily on those single player experiences, and yeah, we definitely need those multiplayer. And PlayStation knows this, so and that's why we did what we did. So
yeah, and we do know that there's two shooters that are in development for Sony, multiplayer shooters. Don't know. That's all we. Yeah, but and I think B, I think you may have said that there's maybe more than two.
There's more than two, man. I stand by my words. We'll see.
So B, you're saying there's more than two multiplayer shooters in development exclusively for PlayStation right now.
Yes, there is.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah. So what did you guys? So overall thoughts? The state of play. What did you guys think?
Well, I actually have a question for the panel before we just do overall thoughts. I just wanted to ask a real quick question.
Yeah, go ahead, Mooch.
Where's everybody right now on Forspoken?
I'm still trying to find a reason to care about the character.
Yeah, me too. I'm with you on that, B.
Like, why do I care about this character and why do I care about this world? Because it looks like it wants to be a Final Fantasy game that isn't.
Yeah. I think the traversal looks really cool. But there's just something about that game that's not clicking with me right now.
The gameplay is fire, I think. I like everything I'm seeing as far as gameplay. The environments are looking good. But I'm with B. I'm not understanding where the main character... Maybe they're doing a bad job of telling the story to us, B. Is that what you're feeling?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I'm also not picking that up either. And that's the only missing element. And I'll be honest with you. I don't know if that's as long as it's a decent story. I mean, I'm still thinking that's a buy, but I would like to see more on it. I was just curious what you guys thought because that's that. If you want to, pardon me, say that there was a headliner. I mean, Forspoken was supposed to come out in May, got bumped to October. Is what it is. That's fine. I got no problem with that. Right now, I got plenty. I got Elden Ring, now the Cyberpunk. And even the GTA, I know, BRAP, you probably didn't even have this, but I even picked up the GTA 5 for $10 on PlayStation. I know people are like, we're not going to do it. I even said it to Bit last Friday. I was like, I'm not, because everybody was saying on podcasts, and mine included, we thought Rockstar was going to get greedy, and they were going to, well, they have been, but they were going to 70. They were going to go for $60, $70 for this. I was like, no. I'll tell you right now, no way. I'm not paying $60 or $70 for that. 10? I mean, it's an iconic game. If you're a collector, that's a game that you're going to want to have on your PlayStation digitally moving forward. We know GTA 6 isn't coming out for a very long time. I mean, 2024 would be the earliest. So I wouldn't mind playing through that in 60 frames and near 4K or whatever it is, some sort of bump up in resolution. So aside from that, I got plenty of games right now to play, and Cyberpunk 2077, I got that PS5 upgrade too that I haven't even started. So my point being with that unbelievably long rant was that I don't have a problem with Forspoken being pushed to October. I got plenty of time, plenty of other games to play that are all 80 plus hours to beat. So let them take their time and polish that up. But they do between now and then. They do got to do a better job of advertising that and pushing the right message forward to gamers, because I think a lot of people are scratching their head. They want to like it, but they're not doing a good job on selling it.
And it's weird too, because Amy Hennig and Gary Whitta are working on a story, and the dialogue just sounds like garbage.
Exactly. That was going to be what I said. Like, yeah, that dialogue is spooky.
Yeah. So it's like, maybe that's part of the disconnect as well, is that the dialogue just sounds off, and it doesn't sound interesting. It's like nothing that brings you into even caring about the story at all. So yeah, I'm with Mooch. They definitely got to figure it out over the next couple of months.
Oh yeah. Mooch, on that GTA, it jumps up to 40 in June, I believe.
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
this is a
like you
limited
said, it didn't
time.
come in at 70. Yeah, it didn't come in at 70 like I thought it was going to. But if people want to jump on that 10 or whatever, and I'm sure it's 20. I think it's 20 on Xbox.
I think it's 20 on Xbox, 10 on PlayStation, and the GTA Online is also free. It's free on PlayStation. I don't know if it's free on.
It's free for the first 3 months.
On PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
Or both.
PlayStation.
Okay.
It's one of those egregious Sony deals. where they bullied the company with juggernaut pockets.
Oh, that's too funny, man. Let me grab this $5 super chat real quick from Ekem he says, I think Forspoken is like an Alice in Wonderland story. I'm definitely looking forward to grabbing the game, like everything I've seen. Thank you for that super chat.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm with him. I definitely want to. I don't know. Maybe I'm simple when it comes to my games. It's just like kick-ass female character doing kick-ass looking things. Yeah, I'll probably buy the game. And the game just looks freaking gorgeous. And I know that's not an issue. That's not one of the issues that you guys are having. It's more with the story and the presentations. How the character is set up. I get that, but I don't know. I'm a graphics whore. What can I say?
Yeah, interesting.
Luminous Productions is gonna make that thing shine. I ain't worried about the graphics at all. That baby's gonna be beautiful, but I get that story right, man. I really can't connect with it, man.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, B. I'm Charles. I'm just trying to connect, and there's no connection for me to the character. But again, the traversal, the world looks great. The combat looks pretty cool. Ramon Terrell says Forspoken is Portal Fantasy. It's just not resonating with me right now. I mean, maybe that changes. I hope it does. But we'll see. But again, outside of that, I think, the state of play was pretty much what I thought it was going to be. What Sony kind of said. I wasn't expecting anything big out of a 20-minute show or anything like that. So, but definitely probably 2 or 3 games here that I would definitely consider buying. Yeah, so
I wouldn't have called it trash, but I saw so many people just like, "Oh, that state of play was trash." Like I was looking at stupid me looking at the live comments just as the show was ending, and it's just like, "Oh, that was such a waste." I was just like, I don't know. I saw at least 2 or 3 games that's just that real, like, here, spending all this money on a brand new fancy system, and I'm interested in the Turtles collection. It's just
I'm there day one on the Turtles collection, man.
Yep.
Yeah, right. When is that releasing? We got a date?
No date, but it is coming this year. It'll probably be after the other Turtles game that's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'll probably maybe like late summer.
Yeah, but I saw you were excited for that. Yeah, that's for me. That's I don't know if I'll pick that up. Maybe I will, depending what I got on my plate. But
come on, man, you got to make your kids play the old school.
I know, man.
Turtles game, man. You got
Those-
to take them back.
Those games are
gotta-
great.
You got to let them. That's their Dark Souls right there. Let them
Those
play
game,
old
yeah.
Turtles game.
Well,
Yeah, man.
I had my 8-year-old play Ghosts and Goblins.
Oh yeah. See, there you go.
You know
Man.
what he said?
Do
He's
you
like,
hate your
how'd
kid?
that-
Is that
how'd
what
that
that is?
How'd that go?
You go to hell.
well, so here's the thing. So I was playing Sekiro once, and he's like, he sees samurai, right? Katana. He's like, can I play it? I'm like, nah, dude, this is too hard for you. Oh, I can play it. I said, tell you what, if you could play Ghosts and Goblins on the mini NES, you could play that. I'll let you play Sekiro. Man, he fired up Ghosts and Goblins, got killed within 5 minutes, kept getting killed over. He was like, I don't want to play this. I'm done.
Yep.
It's like, welcome to our world, kid.
Exactly.
Welcome to our world.
Yeah.
We've all been done with Ghosts and Goblins for a long time.
Yeah, Ghosts and Goblins. Before there was Souls, there was Ghosts and Goblins.
100%.
Yeah, those games
Right.
were tough. We get a super chat from Ramon Terrell. Ramon's actually going to be on with us next week, so looking forward to having him on. It's going to be a first-time
Nice.
guest, long overdue, by the way. He says, with the $5 Canadian, says, Forspoken's dialogue also concerns me. Too modern explicitives in what is he saying? I can't read.
Expletive.
Too modern explicitives in combat and Portal Fantasy can sink a story quick.
I think he's saying the dialogue is of modern times, and when you're looking at what's going on, it looks almost like medieval times.
Medieval times, yeah.
I think, and Ramon, if I'm not
I think
capturing what you're saying, let me know. But that's what I kind of agree with him.
I think that's
I
what
really
he's
do.
saying, yeah. Maybe that's where that disconnect for me is. I don't know.
I don't know. That might be
Yeah.
it, B.
Yeah, that might be it.
You got characters saying hella.
Right?
Right?
That shit I check out immediately.
He said hella.
I don't know if anybody actually said hella in the dialogue, but it just seems like the type of game where hella's going to get snuck in there somewhere.
It might.
Yeah.
This magic is hella dope.
It's been known.
Yeah, while everyone else is speaking like they're in Dark Souls.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah, Ramon, that's interesting, man. That's a great point, man. And that's probably that could be some of the disconnect for me too. So Mr. M says Ghosts and Goblins is the hardest game in video game history, Mooch. I think you probably agree with me. Mooch, so you guys agree on something,
agree.
right?
I know.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say. I was just gonna write him. I was gonna
Yeah.
we're on the same page there. I think that is especially if you're not doing no cheats, no hacks, right? You're just playing that game. I kind of feel like Morgan Freeman when he's like, good luck. I mean,
Good luck.
because I played that. I did beat that game when I was a kid, and I got news for you. Like, no joke. I mean, that was. I mean, you talk about no life in that thing. That's one of my favorite games of all time. I played it recently. What is it there? I think you can even play it on. We have the Nintendo Family Online plan. I think it's like, what is it? $30, $35, $40 for the year.
Yeah.
I think it's for the year.
Yeah.
And but you're entitled to all those NES and SNES games, and Super Ghosts and Goblins is one of them. And I played it, and I got a couple levels deep, and I was like, I died. I was like, yo, this is.
It's no joke.
I'd rather play Elden Ring, blindfolded.
Yeah, right. I remember when people were hyping up Cuphead. Cuphead's great, and then they played, and they're like, "Oh, it's hard. I'm not playing it anymore."
That's a game that I got to go back. I literally I'm 3 bosses away from finishing that game. I believe 3 or 4 bosses away, and I got to one boss, and I hit a wall. I stopped.
Yeah, you gotta get back in there, Mooch.
I gotta get back in there. He's like my Mick for Rocky, right? He's like, get back in there.
Get back in
Get back in there, Rocky.
I'm like, he cut my eye. He cut my eye.
Get back in there, you son of a bitch.
He's like, yeah. He won't let any. He won't. He's like, I'm not throwing the white towel either.
Yeah.
He really just referenced Mick, man.
Yeah, man. He's a great coach. He's like, Mooch, get your ass back out there. Finish that.
Do it, Mooch.
You can do it, you son of a bitch.
Because Mickey loves you.
Because Mickey loves you. Oh, it's good shit.
Oh, that's great.
So
Well,
T-Rock T-Rock on the chat mentions Contra on the NES, no Konami code.
Right.
Who
That's
plays
another
Contra with no Konami code? That's just insane.
I did for about 5 minutes, and then it was up, down, left,
Up,
right,
up,
left,
down,
right,
down, left, right.
BA, select, start. And for my,
Is it BA or AB?
I don't remember, man.
It was AB.
Yeah,
It's BA.
Yeah, it's BA.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
BA.
If we had Twitter and the gatekeeping like back then.
Get good, man.
Yeah, that's not their vision.
That's not their vision.
Can you imagine?
Shut up.
Can you imagine like people paying $50 for games back then that were like 8 hours of content? Like on Twitter, I mean, people would lose their shit. That's what I'm saying. Like people, I think we're cut from a different cloth, different time.
Those games
8 hours is
actually-
generous, man. Those are like
Yeah.
2 to 3 hours.
Yeah. And honestly, if you watch the right things, you can run like Castlevania, which is fairly tough. Just running it, normal. Like my buddy, he can run it in like 25 minutes, like the whole thing.
Yeah.
But you sit there for 2 weeks trying to beat Dracula, because you had to do that shit all over.
Yep.
He said
It's
2
basically
weeks.
muscle memory.
That is true, man. I mean, hell, even Metroid, the original Metroid. I mean, like, there wasn't like we didn't have the respawn points, summoning, any of that shit. We didn't have any of that. No maps.
Careful now, Brad.
You know what you had? Leaving your Nintendo on when you
Facts.
left the house and hoping your mom didn't see that
Yo.
red light and turn that shit off on you.
How mad? Remember how mad you get when you come in, that light was off, and you had just progressed to a boss.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when you were like happy when they started adding codes, like you put the code in or whatever.
Right. Remember, I always had that notepad next to me for Mega Man.
Oh yeah, for
Make
the codes. Yeah, the
that
codes.
matrix, that matrix of whatever the hell it was. You had to move you had to, whatever it was. It was line diagram. And you had to put the ball in a certain. That was the code.
Yeah. Yep. Because remember like the failsafe, like you put some balled up socks in front of your Nintendo, hoping your mom didn't see that red light.
Oh man, do that to tell you.
Yo, E.
Or a power outage.
Yeah.
That's how you beat those games. You're like, yo, man, I got too far. I gotta leave this on. It's like going to Wyoming for 2 weeks. It's staying on. I don't give a damn.
I tell you that happened to me a couple times where I was playing. Oh, it happened in Castlevania. What was the second Castlevania? Simon's Quest, was that it?
Simon's Quest, yes.
Yeah, it was just Simon's Quest. It was like I forget where I was, left it on.
It's fun. I haven't played those in decades, but I gotta say, I almost want to say of the first three, I think Simon's Quest was my favorite. I don't know.
Simon's Quest might be the.
It's more open. It's like
it
was their version of open, because you had to go back and forth a bunch. Yeah, that was open world back then.
Yeah.
Yo, I'll tell you, man, that game, shoot, man, that stole hours of my life.
I could not play that without. I needed my issue 2 of Nintendo Power for me to play that, just because I didn't know where all the secrets were. So issue 2. That's the issue 2 Nintendo Power. That's what I had.
Yeah, Nintendo Power was you had to have Nintendo Power back in the days.
Yeah, because there's stuff in Simon's Quest that like you would legit just not even know to do, like if you didn't have that.
Yeah, that's true, man. Yeah. Well, look, gentlemen, I want to go ahead and wrap up the show because BRAP wants to go play some Elden Ring before he goes to bed.
Hey now.
Yep. Because I have an Elden Ring problem, like legitimately have an Elden Ring problem. I love it. Love it. It's an amazing game.
I hope to have my Elden Ring problem. I'm hoping to have that problem starting tomorrow because I'm now done with Horizon. So the last 10, I just looked. I have 10 trophies. Those trophies are like, I have to go and do like these tedious little things, so I can do those whenever. I'll just get to those. But
how many hours, Mooch, in Horizon?
70.
It's $1 an hour.
Then I still have 10 trophies to get. $1 an hour. And I still got 10 trophies to get. So I easily have.
That's cheaper than a hooker.
Oh yeah.
I can tell you right now. I know. That's great, Brad. I can tell you right now though. I got at least 10 hours left in that game, at minimum. I think that's being kind. Ramon's saying 90 hours he's got into.
Ramon's getting even more money. He's
getting more for his dollar. That's right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, he needs
as he should.
He's on the Canadian dollar.
Oh shit! Hey, real quick, Cryptopsy. I'm so sorry. I forgot about your friend, man. Sorry about that. I'll have to get her a code. My apologies.
Who needs a code? What happened?
Cryptopsy. He won the Elden Ring giveaway, and then he decided to give it to a friend, and I've just completely forgot because I've been playing Elden Ring, and so I'm sorry about that.
Oh,
Man, you denying somebody else the chance?
Yeah. Hey, Cryptopsy, send me another DM, please.
Give you that grief.
Cryptopsy, just in case your friend
Jesus.
went and bought the game before BRAP gave it to them, just let me get the code. All right?
Oh my
Thank
God.
you.
Always
What?
mooching.
What?
Always
Oh,
mooching.
Mooch is gonna mooch.
You know,
Yeah.
I still haven't figured out. I got to get Chrono on speed dial. I don't know why I don't have him on speed dial yet. Once an Italian person meets somebody on the inside, you know what I mean? You're like a capo for Sony.
Oh my God,
You know
that's
what I mean?
hilarious. He said a capo.
We gotta get Chrono over here for like Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh Jesus, that's
Hey,
hilarious.
Here's
Right.
my concern. Here's my concern because I'm trying to finish up Horizon. Before I jump into Elden Ring. I'm wondering, do you get that that open world?
Same
like,
thing here, E.
The big game fatigue. 'Cause that's like two major
It is,
No.
and I've been thinking
No.
about it. But you know what?
Back to back.
No, listen. You know
No.
what? BRAP, and BRAP is the resident expert,
No.
so I'll let BRAP speak to it. But
No.
E, the reason I say no is all I've done right now is just done the tutorial in Elden Ring, and then just done some farming in the very, very first part where you walk out. And when I play those 2 hours of farming, I'm addicted to the world. So I don't think you're gonna have any problem conversion from one game to the other. How far are you in Horizon right now?
I feel like I'm so early, man, because I keep seeing like squirrel. And I keep going that way.
You think that?
You know?
Wait till you got to go hunting for squirrels and everything else for your pouches, man. Like, so no joke. I spent the full shout out to BG. Broken Game said this, and it was funny when he tweeted it out about a week ago. He's like, I just want to let everybody. I'm paraphrasing. He's like, I want to let everybody know I spent the better part of my Saturday getting up early and hunting down different animals so I can like update all my pouches in Horizon. I read that tweet. That's what I was doing. Like, I'm like, you have to do that. It helps. It really helps.
I was doing that earlier.
You gotta.
I get gamer ADD, and that's where I go. Like, I stopped doing the main
Me
quest
too.
because I'm on the pouch hunt.
Yes.
You know, so
Yes.
yeah.
There was a period of time I was hunting like the pelicans, and my wife's like, "Are you still getting the pelicans?" I'm like, "I need the pelican like wing or something. I can't find the wing."
Let me tell you how early I am still. I just left the bunker with Gaia, so I'm out in the world trying to like start hunting down the things I need to go back to see her. So I'm just now in that part.
You know, the main story, I'll tell you right now, you could probably beat the game. You could probably easily beat the game in 30 to 40 hours. I mean, I tried to do every side quest. I've done every tall neck I'm missing one quadrant. I just can't find it. And maybe I just haven't done a side mission that I missed somehow. So that's why now I'm backtracking to all of the different little like cities, and I'm talking to everybody again. And I'm like, maybe I missed something where it was like, you need to go over here or something. So there's a few things I'm missing like that. That's why I said for me, it's just gonna be tedious to kind of go back and forth a bit. But yeah, you don't have to put 70 hours into it. I really want the platinum for this game. That's just something.
See, I'm gonna go for the plat. So I already know my fate.
Yeah, I want the platinum for that. And then Elden, I don't know, BRAP, how realistic is the platinum in Elden Ring? Is that something just out of my mind? Yeah, forget it. All right, that's all I had to hear. Forget it then.
We could talk about Elden Ring offline, Mooch. But
no, it's fine.
Yeah, no, I think you're gonna enjoy it, man. I don't think you're gonna have open world fatigue with this one per se. It's a little bit different, and you can kind of go at this game at your own pace. I think that's what I like about it.
How many bosses have you beaten so far?
Great question. Like main bosses?
Yeah.
Well, main bosses I've only beaten 3. But I've beaten, but there's like mini bosses that you could just like randomly encounter. And I've beaten a couple, and I don't remember how many of those I've beaten. I've beaten quite a few. And there's like little like circles that take you to basically like almost like a metaverse, if you will, of the area that you're in, and then you fight these bosses that give you like weapons and stuff. And I fought a couple of those. You got to find those just exploring. But the one thing that is really interesting about this game is it doesn't necessarily funnel you in a very linear path the way the other games do. It really is the Skyrim of Souls games, if that makes sense. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. And Mooch, if you're into exploration and crafting stuff and leveling up, you are going to get lost in this game in a good way.
I'm looking forward to it.
Magic like a bitch.
I tell you what,
tonight.
I tell you what, you can get your ass handed to you even as a magic build. So, yeah, that's
what I hear, man. It's like,
yeah, I mean,
like what Mooch said, like these games is like there's no giving. Just because you decided to do something a certain way. That's why I just find it funny, man. It just annoys me, man, when people do like because I remember when I got the platinum in Bloodborne, and I had someone say, shout out to Sam Tober, like we ended up doing like the Chalice dungeons together, which made it a lot more fun. Just kind of running around and doing. Well,
it was really designed for that, by the way. Those Chalice dungeons are really designed for that. Yeah.
But someone was like, "Yo, the community's gonna come after you for going through the Chalice dungeons with a friend." I'm like, "Let them come." They didn't want me to do that. They wouldn't have put it in
exactly.
The game,
yeah, and this game's really designed for co-op. It really is. I mean, it's the stuff you could do with friends. I mean, I've seen people, groups of 4 get together and just have a blast. Trying to take out a boss and putting together attack strategies. It's really cool. It adds a different layer to the Souls game.
Like an Oprah book club, but getting punched in the nuts by big demon characters.
Exactly. Yeah. So.
That's dope.
Yeah. But no, gentlemen, first of all, I want to say a big shout out to everyone in the live chat. Really appreciate you guys, the dialogue and everything and hanging out with us this evening. If you're new to the show, hit the like button. Well, first hit the like button, but if you're new to the show, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you're alerted when new content drops and when we go live as well. So also want to give a big shout out to the panel, our special guest this evening, Chrono, man. Always a pleasure having you on, man. Really appreciate your time and your insight, man. If you want to be found, Chrono, let everyone know where they can find you, sir.
I am on Twitter if you need me, KRONO0666. Always, about video games, comic books, movies. Hell, let's throw in wrestling now too. So yeah, hit me up there.
Wrestling.
Wrestling. No doubt, man. No doubt, Chrono. And then we got Mooch.
Yes, sir.
Mooch, great having you on, man. Welcome.
Buddy,
it's long overdue, man, but always
it really
a pleasure.
was. That's my fault. There was so many things going on the past few weeks. So when you were like, "Yo, is there any way you can make BRAP tonight?" I said, "Absolutely, buddy. I'll be there." Want to say thank you so much. Outstanding panel, by the way. Great chat tonight. And I'll just do a shameless plug real quick. Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern time, we will be back over on my YouTube channel. We are doing a traditional Crossfire this week. So go over to Mooch TV. It's Mooch TV everywhere. Drop the O's for zeros, guys. I had to do that. That's not my fault, okay? Somebody who's probably like 10 years old, 20 years ago, did Mooch TV. They took it from me. So it's zeros instead of O's. But go over at Mooch TV everywhere. Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. And we are doing, I usually do Warzone Wednesdays. I was telling BRAP this yesterday. And because the playlists in Warzone are changing tomorrow, I am planning to stream tomorrow. So if you guys want to come over to twitch.tv, Mooch TV over there, we're going to be there. And then Saturday and Sunday, I should be streaming exclusively Elden Ring. So it'll be Elden Ring all the time. You can watch me die and get very frustrated. And it's a great time. I promise you guys that. But BRAP, thank you for having me on the show. And I hope to see everybody that's in your chat over at Crossfire on 7 p.m. Eastern time Friday.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I may, if you got some space tomorrow night, I may want to join you for...
Yes, please.
Warzone, because I gotta see what Warzone does on this new PC, man.
You're more than welcome to me. Me and James will be there. I think we're aiming for a 7:00 start time. We'll see what happens.
All right, man. Sounds good. And then we got B Money. B Man, always a pleasure, sir. Let everyone know where they can find you as well.
Yeah, you can find me everywhere. Same name, B Money 101, and I'll be on WWE 2K22. So if you want to get in a match, definitely hit me up.
No. Oh wait, you say get in a match? You mean like is it online?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh man, don't see. I'm gonna buy this damn game now, man.
You ain't gonna do it. You gotta stop it.
Dude, I'm right there with BRAP, man. I'm almost there. I'm almost there.
Wait, what'd you say? I'm not gonna.
We still went on the NBA 2K challenge, man. You're not gonna. We will. Anyhow, all right. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna pick up this game now, man. So, yeah, and then we got Eric Jackson. Everybody, yes sir. Good show tonight. Great panel. Mooch, Chronos. Appreciate you guys being here. Yeah, fun night, man. But you can find me on Twitter, EC Jackson with an X, and also Tuesday nights on the Gaming Perspective podcast, 8:00.
No doubt, man. Great show, by the way. You guys always put out. Seriously, you guys, great. If you guys haven't checked out E show with Nick and Sam, you guys need to. Just always great conversation, man.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, always insightful too.
Great gaming conversation.
Yes, great gaming conversation.
BS.
Yes.
Yes.
No console war nonsense. Talking about games.
True.
Yeah. No, it's great. Yeah. B's right. So, also want to give a shout out to Gaming Forte and Slowbo Backslap, who couldn't make it tonight. Miss you guys. And everyone, enjoy the rest of the week. Enjoy video games. Stop being armchair developers and financial analysts. Be gamers. We're out. Peace.